the a fashion meetup. And today I have the pleasure of bringing on a wonderful woman. I had actually met her in California, but we are both from the East Coast. And she is in the fashion and beauty world. Her name is Cristina Borelli. And I was so excited to bring her on. She just got such a testimony and a story to tell. And let me just bring her on. Hi, Cristina. How are you?
I'm good, Tracia, girl. East Coast all the way representing.
Absolutely.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me into being a part of this. And I love the passion, and the love that you present, that you always want to spread. You have been such an inspiration, and God put us on that journey together. And I was just so super excited when you asked me to share. Right back at you, girlfriend. We just have so many stories on that trip. Sisters for life. But yeah, thank you.
Now you're in, do you currently have a title right now that you are representing, don't you?
I am currently the 2021 Ms. Woman of Achievement, Massachusetts. I was unable due to COVID to go out and actually compete for the national title. So come November 2021, guess who's going?
That's so exciting. That's awesome.
I'm very excited to get back out there. I also am a regional pageant director here in Western Massachusetts, and working with the UNM pageant system under the Crown Cares, which is anti-bullying and kindness.
Fantastic.
Which is really right. And it really feeds into my dual platform of suicide prevention and mental health advocacy. It's just very synergistic, very organic.
I wanted you to share that with everybody, because I remember when you told me your story, I was just, blown away. And I if you'd like to, I'd love for you to share more about that on here, because, Runway to Life, that is what they try to do, is get the conversation going on, bringing up, suicide awareness and prevention for people. Mental awareness.
It is. And the reason why I picked it is, it is a personal story. It is a personal struggle. My entire life, I never truly felt like I belonged. I always felt something was off. I was a gifted musician. I was well in my academics. I did well in athletics. I was able to multitask. I was able to do whatever was asked of me, and then some.
Yeah.
I had strongly rooted family values, very much into Christ and belief and prayer, and
absolutely.
just, I really had all the pieces of my, that you would think would mean for success. And on the outside, very, very successful. I had a possibility of going to Juilliard to play piano. I didn't want to be a professional musician. I didn't, but I had those kinds of things going. But I always felt that something was off, that I did not fit. Growing up, you don't talk about those things. And you're over emotional, you are high strung, you're opinionated.
Right.
Well, I am opinionated, but besides the point. But I always knew something deep seated subconsciously, like something's different. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
But why do I feel this way?
Mm-hmm.
So I lived that way for 35 years. I lived like that. And,
wow.
And I would try to do everything to mask. I would be a people pleaser. I would work 3 jobs to keep my mind from thinking about these things.
Right.
I would medicate by shopping. People don't know that you can be addicted to shopping. You can be addicted to shopping, and it can get financially dangerous.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, people just thought I was just a machine. And then,
That was your way to cope with it when you
it
were
was
trying
my
to, yeah,
coping.
yeah.
I didn't do drugs. I didn't do those kinds of things. I didn't drink. I wasn't promiscuous, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Mine was shopping. Oh, it made me look pretty. So then I would get new clothes and make me happy. And then 3 weeks later, you see the statement come in and, oh my God, what did I just do to myself? But then you don't want to tell anybody what's going on. So anywho, fast forward through that, lost my dad to pancreatic cancer in 2010.
Oh, I think I remember you telling
Or
me that part,
2012.
yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 2010. 2000. Yeah, because it's been 10 years. My math is off. Must be the snow.
And you guys got a lot of it too, I tell you.
We always got a couple shovels hanging around. But it's and my father was my mentor. My father was my touchstone. He was a man of God. He was a man of family. He was a man of faith. He was always like the neighbor, and from the diagnosis of when he got cancer and from the time he passed was 62 days. So I didn't have a lot of time to really
process
that.
Right. Yeah.
And then, I was worried about my mom, who, she's my roommate. She's cool. We like Gracie.
Really?
Lou.
Oh, hey.
Gracie Lou's my roommate. Gracie Lou's my roommate.
Is she on there with you? Is she there with you now?
Mom is over there, but she's in her PJs because it's cold here. So.
Tell her to say hi if she wants to. Yeah,
I will. I'll bring her. I'll see her. She'll come.
Okay.
But so, we went through that, and I was so busy just trying to take care of Mama. I got to the point where I stopped sleeping, and I had a full-blown mental breakdown on February 2nd of 2012. And I had to leave my job. I was put on medical leave for 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
I, at that time, was living by myself, and I still needed to financially support. And my therapist at the time was worried because I had gotten hooked up with therapy, medication, trying to get back on that healing track.
Yeah.
And it was not easy. And one of the medical professionals I worked with said, well, why don't you keep working in the restaurant so it keeps you social, it keeps you around people. Well, the school district I worked for thought I was trying to just collect money. So I had to fight a court battle on top of that. On top of a year later, when I had my breakdown, is when I finally started grieving my dad. And that's when the whole diagnosis came. I mean, my mom came and scooped me up. I went and stayed with her for a while because they were afraid I was on like a suicide watch.
What was the diagnosis?
So the diagnosis of what I have, and I want people to know it's a chemical imbalance, just like if you have an insulin issue and you have, or a thyroid issue.
Yeah.
There is an imbalance in my brain that causes acute anxiety, depression. So it's kind of like a two-headed monster. And there's, I'm living with a form of bipolar, and the form of bipolar that I have is a high functioning bipolar. So it's harder to, really see it as a mental health issue because I'm holding jobs. I got my education. I had friends. I would keep people at an arm's length because I was really always worried that people were going to see me at my worst. But I was able to maintain most of what society would say normal. And after that, it forced my body. So what happens is that I have 3.5 times as much cortisol produced than the normal person.
Wow.
Cortisol is your flight or fight chemical. And that chemical, if it's like for short bursts, it's to help protect you. I mean, our ancestors of tens of thousands of years ago, it's what protected them from from living in outdoors and in the wild. But when but when you have cortisol for long, this isn't Gracie Lou. This is my daughter, Juju. Can you
Hi,
say
sweetheart.
hi?
How are you? She's so cute.
She's gotten so tall.
I know. She's adorable.
And so cortisol over a long period of time, if it's coming onset in within your body chronically, it can actually cause damage to your heart, your lungs, your brain. Like it really can start ruining your vital organs. There's not enough serotonin being produced in my body. So there is this chemical imbalance that is living within me that if I don't do the right things, and that's just not just popping a pill or whatever, it's a lifelong dedication to wellness and well-being. Yes, do I take a form of medication under advisement of my PRN? Absolutely.
Yes.
Am I in therapy? Yes. I call myself a lifer because it keeps me in check.
Right.
And I'm not embarrassed to just say that. Like, it's okay to say, I need this check because it makes me feel okay. It helps me stay on course.
Absolutely.
Well, you just saw the little head coming behind me. So I've got a little one who's now depending on me and looking at me to be the example of what do you do when you are not perfect.
Right. And you are showing her how to overcome. And how did you, like, look at you, you've overcome and pressed through all of this, even like in your platform, even through the pageantry, that is what you've been talking about. And it has blown people away. I remember when you went up there and gave your speech about in the platform with Women of Achievement, they were really, that was incredible to tell your story and how you are letting people know that how they can go through this and press through this like you have.
You
It's amazing.
can. And everyone has their own unique story.
Yeah.
You know, people need to realize that 1 in 5 adults will at some point in their life deal with a long-term mental health issue.
Yeah.
Even more so when you are dealing with young people between the ages of 14 and 17. And young people, especially now during COVID, there's such a spike in depression, anxiety, and suicide. If we just kind of even look at the population of what's going on in Vegas right now, it's scary. It's doubled.
Yeah.
It's not one of the, but there's still such a stigma to say, or for when somebody says, you know, I'll tell, well, I have bipolar, and somebody will look, and I'm talking intelligent people with doctorates.
Yeah.
And their mouth drops and they don't know what to say. I said, well, I have a chemical imbalance. That doesn't mean I can't be successful.
Right.
You know, like you're still fighting this stigma with, and with educated people. You know, the educated people are not fully aware of the whole gamut of what does that mean? What does that look like? You know, I've often said, people have said to me often, well, you don't look sick, so you can't be sick.
Right. It's an invisible illness, like a lot of things.
It is.
And that's why it's so good to have conversations about that and tell your story, tell people about it. And so when they see a real person like you talking about it, they know that they're not alone. You know, that other people actually are going through stuff too, that they need some ray of hope. Do you have some words of hope for others when they go through all this stuff? What do you have to say to
I
maybe
always
encourage
say,
them?
you know, like reach out to someone you depend on and who loves you, no matter who you are, thick or thin. Now, if you don't, I know in this time it's hard to do that, but you know, FaceTime can sometimes be that thing. I would also reach out to, I'd reach out to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. There's local chapters all over the country, and they have a tremendous amount of resources as well as publications to help you and or a loved one who is struggling with mental health issues that coincide and often are prior to suicide attempts. You know, I mean, if you go through everything that, like, what the checklist is, this person isolating themselves? Do they do that? You know, I had everything that said this girl she should be on suicide watch. everything, like, except for maybe one thing. And I never saw that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see it, I didn't
Right.
want to say that I had this.
Yes.
But now, ooh, there goes my light. It just, it's one of those things that it's now I know I've accepted it. And because I've accepted it and I've started to allow myself to be a face and a voice for such a time when our country and our communities and where mental health wellness is most vulnerable than I have seen in my entire lifetime as a society, we have to talk about it. We have a responsibility to be able to check on people and say, it's okay to not be okay.
Exactly.
And then we
Yes.
have that one step further of saying, so now what are you going to do about it?
Right.
There's also, you can also go to, there's many chapters throughout the country for the National Alliance for Mental Illness. And I've worked and have been keynote speakers for both. I have shared my story, my struggle, how I coped, and didn't even know what I was coping with or why I was coping,
Right.
like I didn't even know what this was,
Yes.
when you look back in hindsight and go, man, I was totally coping. What was going on?
Right.
My biggest thing, I'm an educator. I teach high school special education. I have a 7-year-old. I mentor a lot of student athletes in hockey and dance. Is I hope that I can save them the 35 years of hiding,
Mm.
and that it's okay to say, I need help.
Exactly. Yes.
And it's okay to say that. And you know me, Trish, you've seen me without my heels on. I'm 4'11", maybe. And that's if my hair is all teased. So, I am not, I look at this from a picture, and I say this to my
But you're
students all
tough.
the time when
You're
they're
tough inside.
I'm a personal trainer.
Yeah.
we'll go all day. But you sit there, and I tell people, I go, listen, I'm 4'11", and there's that top shelf. Why somebody always puts a top shelf on an 8-foot wall, I don't get it. It doesn't mean that I'm stupid. It doesn't mean I'm worthless. It doesn't mean I can't. It just means I have to find a different way to get up there.
That's
and
good.
grab that
So
cup
good.
from that top shelf.
That's a
If
good
that
one.
means I have to get a tool,
Yep.
get a stool, get a
Yep.
chair. If I got to muscle up and crawl up on the countertop and grab. Or
Right.
if I so happen to have a tall person around, hey, can you grab me that cup?
Right.
That doesn't make me any less valuable because I can't reach the top shelf. It
Right.
just means I need to get there a different way. That's
Right.
all.
Exactly. And you might have access to things that tall people can't get down and get. So like,
I can get down and dirty real quick. Yeah. Yeah. No
So
worries.
right. So that's awesome, Cristina. You're just you're an overcomer, and you just pressed through so much, and I appreciate you sharing all that. Now you're a director of your own pageant. Are you still having girls come into your pageant? Is there a way they can reach out to you and get involved and sign up?
So
Can
they
give them that information?
They can definitely email me directly at B as in boy, ORELLI 2002 at yahoo.com. I do represent the Western 4 counties of Western Massachusetts. It's the Westfield Fair pageant. And then we feed into the state and national pageant system of the USA National Miss Pageant system.
Fantastic.
So I do
That's a good system.
I'm a local director for Massachusetts, and I'm happy to say that one of my girls is going to national. So
that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, we just found out this week. So we're very excited that she's got the preteen Massachusetts title. So we're excited. Orlando, here we come. So
but that's awesome that you're involved with things like that. I know I like being out there and seeing all the girls accomplish all their dreams too. And I know that's you enjoy the same, even though we're on the competing side, that we can also be on the other side where we're the cheering side of somebody else watching their dreams come up there too. It's just amazing.
There's truly something magical when you see people evolve and grow. And, and honestly, that's what my mental health journey has been. It has been this evolution of me. Like, if I didn't have these obstacles, if I didn't have this in my life, I would have never met you. I would have
Mm.
never, there are so many things I would not have if I did not have this chemical imbalance.
Well, the incredible thing is, I remember we didn't even know anybody there. And before we first checked into the pageant in California, we were on the Queen Mary, by the way. And we're just up there on the deck. We were waiting. I think it was the first day of check-in. And we did not know. It's kind of like a divine thing. I guess we should share for a minute.
Yes.
And
So,
so,
that's like one of my favorite stories from the whole pageant.
They actually asked me that when we were in interview, like, what girl had impacted you the most? Of course, you did, because it was a divine connection. So how did we know we were supposed to be? So we were supposed to be roommates. So so we just happened to be meeting on the deck, and we just go up and introduce each other. Yeah, where are you from? And yeah, I'm from Virginia, and Christina's from New Jersey. And I was like, okay. And we're both from the East Coast, and everybody else pretty much was more like from the West Coast. So we were the East Coast,
West, Nevada.
Yeah, all those. Yeah. And so we were representing, this was a national pageant, by the way. And so we were up there and we met each other, and we, of course, we hit it off right away, and we started talking about all these things. And then next thing we know, we come to find out we were supposed to be roommates, because we had talked out with our director, and she had set it up ahead of time. We didn't know who our roommate was going to be, but it was each other. And we had met each other before anybody even introduced each other. So it was pretty incredible. So we could see why too, after things unfold. And so I think we're good support for each other, and it was good. So it's a blessing.
Listen, I will always be happy to compete with you.
Yeah, well, you're a good girl, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you as a sister, and you always be my forever woman of achievement sister and pageant sister. And I appreciate hearing your story and just getting to know you, and you're the things you went through. That's why I know I had to bring you on to tell your story, because it fits right into what Worthy and Runway to Life is about, how we're trying to reach out and help people. And that's what you're doing too, because you're actually going through that, and you kind of pulled yourself through that, and you're actually still going through and walking through that and
it's
overcome.
A lifetime process. Yeah. And that is one thing I really want to hint. It's not just this magic thing and then you hit this and then you're done.
Yeah.
It is a lifetime commitment, and you have to believe that you are worth the effort. Yes. You have to believe that that is what God has intended for you, that this was put in your place because you have the power to overcome. You can do this.
Worthy. You're worthy.
You are worthy. And I have seen it, even though it has been a struggle in so many ways, it has been the lemonade to my lemon. Yeah. And I am forever blessed because I now have a plethora of sisters from all over the world. I've gone outside of my comfort zone. I've, ended up having a beautiful daughter in the middle of all of this. And
fantastic. Fantastic.
There's so many awesome things that have happened because I just have a mental health issue.
But God, he knows what we need right ahead of time. And you got to kind of know, even when we met each other, we were able to pray together and just about things and just things where God knew what we needed when we needed it. And he put us the right people in the right time just for making the things that we need. So it's just awesome. I praise him for that. I'm thankful. It's always a good God,
That good book is right here, girlfriend.
So
every morning.
It is now if people want to get in touch with you and reach out to you, can they have contact information? You on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything?
Okay. So my Facebook page is Cristina Borelli Gramaski. On IG, I'm Cristina J. Borelli. And it's CR, just so if people are looking in two ends.
CR and two ends. Okay.
Yeah.
You got that? Okay.
So, they're more than welcome to email me. If people want to privately, you can share them. You can share another way to reach out. I'd be happy to share a private telephone number, way to access me that way. But, that'll be on a case-by-case basis, I guess.
If you want to message her and reach out, and then if you and
then from there we can work.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good. Okay, so she's on Facebook, Twitter, and you said Twitter, right?
Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram. So if you need to reach out, Cristina's got a great testimony, and she's a great witness of overcoming. And I just really appreciate you coming on today. Is your mom going to come on and say hi to us, or?
Let me see.
If she doesn't want to, that's okay.
No, she's busy reading her novel.
Okay,
So
well, tell her we said hi.
I will.
And
I
your
will.
daughter's adorable. And I'm so glad I got to talk to you today, Cristina. Thank you for sharing your story. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us today while we're on?
I just, I pray for our country, our community. I pray for our globe. We are in crises, and, this is God saying to us that we need to turn back to him.
Yeah. Amen.
I have, and you have been a vessel and such an inspiration to me to go back and find God. And God has been, ever since
Amen.
that pageant, I have refound my love for God and my connection, and my relationship.
Praise the
And,
Lord. Yeah.
and
God.
that has been probably the final missing piece of truly finding bliss within the chaos.
Amen.
I'm not
so
saying
glad.
it's easy.
No, it's not easy.
But
It's not easy. Yeah.
I am blissfully blessed.
Amen.
And God knew I needed this so I could come back to him on my own. So,
and we get stronger every day. Every day we got to pick up our cross and carry it and seek him every day.
oh, right. Right. But
so he's worthy of it. And it brings us, he's the, oh, is she going to say hi?
you want to come say hi, Miss Tracia, say goodbye? Or are you just hungry, babe? I'll get you some chicken in a minute. I promise she's hungry.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. But he's worthy of all our praise, and I'm so thankful. And I'm so glad that you're drawn closer to the Lord and you're walking with him so closely. I can see it when you're just talking about him and just helping you he's our strength, he's our rock. He's the one that helps us pull us through. So.
What do you want to tell Miss Tracia? Oh, she's loving on your lights in the background there, girl.
Oh, she did. Oh, yeah. Do you see my spark? I got 2 hearts and a sparkle. These are pretty cool, huh? Gives a good backdrop as I go in there too.
It's pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I like sparkles too. She likes sparkles, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah. Oh, she says yours are an upgrade from hers.
Well, thank
That's
you.
Big from a
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, Cristina. Well, thank you so much for coming on Worthy today, and I appreciate you. Take care.
All right, honey. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.